These 3 frameworks will make your YouTube channel and personal brand more money. Printed for a client last year, Joel Kaplan, and now tons of other creators are doing the exact same thing. Implement this system and you can too. So the first framework is a content framework and it's called Tropic. Creative, I know, but let's talk about it here. First of all, target your audience avatar with a great idea. And this is a whole video in of itself on how to do it, but we're gonna roll with it. So what I mean in a basic sense by this is make sure that your packaging, your idea, and everything is aligned towards your ICP slash target viewer slash target audience, right? Now, the next thing is R. Now, that's real in the viewer with storytelling and proof. So that means that you need to have a nice intro, which if you're using the Hormozy framework, that is promise. This is a really good one. Promise, proof, path. And this needs to be done quickly. You're not sitting there, gloating for 30 minutes. You're gonna make your big bold promise, then you're gonna back it up, and then you're gonna say the path for that video. That's the Hormozy framework. We're also gonna add into the Tropic framework, but then throughout your video, actually if we skip down to I, integrate curiosity loops throughout the video. That's generally for more scripted content, but it applies to non-scripted content as well, where you're really using a lot of but. So storytelling, the simple things, right? You're teasing a lot of stuff and you're giving people a reason to watch to the end of the video. Like right now, if you're watching this video, you know that you're gonna get these frameworks and you know by the end, if you implement all these, you're gonna be making more money. So there's a pretty solid reason for you to stay to the end. And if you might get bored along the way because this is whiteboard content. Normally I like to make highly edited content, but for this, it's all about the value. So that's why we're optimizing for viewer satisfaction. That's the O. And viewer satisfaction is generally what matters most, like to YouTube and stuff. That's going to be the AVD, the watch time, plus engagement. So that's the likes, the comments, and that's ultimately going to lead to more impressions. So that is the O. Now P, or pushing P, we're pushing for a CTA. And generally in most videos, you're going to want to do this at the 1/3 mark of the video. So let's just say you have your intro, you have your point 1, you have point 2, you have point 3, you have your outro. You're going to want to do this right here or right here. I've done it in this spot in the past on some other channels, and I've also done it here. I personally like delaying it to here, but in most cases it's honestly better to do it right here because you have more people watching, but never ever do it in the beginning. You always want to give value first, because otherwise there's no reason, even for a subscribe, there's no reason to ever ask for that in the beginning of a video, ever, because they haven't gotten anything, right? You need to deliver value first, then you can ask. You give value, then they can give you a little value back. Now, if you're going for a hard pitch, maybe going right here isn't best. You want to give a little more value first. Depends on the video you're making though, right? If you're making, a how-to video, they just want their problem solved. So if you're just kind of doing a light CTA, like a lead magnet right in here, that would be nice. That'd be really, really good. But if you're doing like a it's your offer, high ticket, and maybe later in the video, or even near this part right here, because these people are going to be the most dedicated if they're right here, right? In the outro, this is what I do in all my videos, is I CTA to my free course. That's where I like to make my official pitch to you. It's just, you already know what's coming, but that's where I make my pitches in that full course. I don't make it in each individual video. I make the pitch to the free course, and then the free course goes to my accelerator. But if you want to join my accelerator, there's a link down below. All right, moving on. The curiosity gas, we talked about that. The next thing is the C, and that is create more of what's worked for you. This is huge. There's something called video buckets on YouTube, and this is most popular on entertainment channels, but it can be applied to educational channels as well. So an example of this is every Wednesday, what do? I make a video about how X made X amount of dollars with personal brands and genius. That's the exact title I use every single week. And I think I've done like 5 breakdowns now, something like that. And this is my main bucket. This is my bucket number 1. And I have kind of a couple other buckets, but right now I'm just trying to build up a library of content. But this bucket is the social hack bucket for me, and I know it's not gonna do crazy numbers, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to bring in a variety of different people That's why I'm doing this content right here, is to bring in different people who watch these creators to understand why they're doing it. A lot of people realize it, but I like to deep dive into their funnels and into their content and how they're doing everything, right? So that's why I make that video, and it's a how X made money. So that's an educational example. If we look at, if you guys have ever heard of Ryan Trahan, what he does is he used to have a series called I Survived X, and he did a lot of these videos. He also did 1-star videos, like I tested 1 star. He also done I stayed in X, and those are just some examples where this X is the repeatable format, and you can just keep using those videos, those ones that do well. Now with educational content, it's not every video is going to fall into a bucket, because a lot of times you're just going to do one-off how to solve X. So that's almost the bucket in of itself, is how to solve X. That's basically the bucket. So it's not like a true, I survived 1 star or how X made X amount of money. That's a little bit more how it is. Now there's other ones that you can see where it's like, so you can just copy me. LOL. You'll see a lot of videos like this in the more raw space, like I make a ton of money, LOL. Basic example, but that's a very, very commonly used one lately. That started with Charlie Morgan and also Matt Shields, and that's kind of spread throughout the different industries, through copywriting, through drop shipping, and everybody kind of does it. So once it works in one space, somebody's going to take it to another one, and that's just kind of how it goes. But you have to be aware of audience fatigue. So like there was the whole POV trend. This is more just in formats, not even in buckets, but that trend, that format of video doesn't really work as much as anymore. Like it still can for some people, but it's been done so many times. Like the POV, it's not as interesting anymore, right? So, first person does it, they're going to be the most original, and they're going to generally get the most amount of views. Second person, if they one up that person, can get more views. Third person, it depends on how strong the format is too, because sometimes there will be a format like the I made a secret YouTube channel to prove it's not luck. That video was done like 5-6 times, and all of them perform pretty well for people. It just depends on the angle you go at it too. If you approach it at a slightly different angle, like the content itself, it can also determine how the video does. So you got a little more than what you bargained for there for the C, but it is important to double down on the videos that work for you. It's still important to create those videos, and even with the how-to videos, just keep your title formats similar. That way people know it's you, number one. Number two, then YouTube can recommend them more together, because it recognizes that format. It's the same thing with short form content. Like YouTube will see, you did all these different shorts together with the same type of title. They're going to recommend them together as more of they're going to fit those in a bucket and recommend all those together. It's the same thing with long form content. So that brings us to the 4 pillars of a value influencer, and this is what I call SPAV. Just came up with a random acronym for it. So story content, proof content, action, educational, informational value. These 4 things are the basis of it. So you have your buckets, right, and then you have the formats. And these are the formats, these are the pillars of the content. So story content, this is to get to know you. This is know, like, and trust you. You can create a relationship with the audience. So you can create that one-on-one or one-sided relationship, which is important. You really want to have that with your audience. Now, the next thing is to show proof that you know what you're doing with whatever it could be. How you lose weight. Well, you got to show proof, show your transformation from, if 500 pounds to 200 pounds, show that transformation. So very, very important to have that. This could be in the form of case studies. This could be in the form of testimonials, and that could also be like podcasts disguised as case studies. There's a lot of ways to do it. And this could even be like the transformation too. That is a form of the proof content. Now moving along, action, educational. These are your how-to videos. These are basically your how to solve X. These are your problem-based videos. And these are concrete, actionable items to do. Whereas the informational value, these videos, that's more surfacey. It's like why, or just general videos. Like for me, it's going on viral. YouTube is stupid. Do this instead. It's not as concrete. Like the expectation in the video isn't, you do X, you do Y, you do Z, you get B. It's not as concrete. It's more abstract. So we'll put that down right there. Moving on to the final thing, it's keeping it simple. There's no acronym here. None of this really was like a true system. It's these 3 frameworks paired together. So sorry for the clickbait, but There is no like true magical system. This is like the frameworks that kind of build everything out for you on YouTube and your content. Just keep things simple, right? So many people try to do too much, and I've tried to done too much, and it just hurts you in the end. So when in doubt, don't overthink. Just be consistent too, because that's the thing with a lot of the different content is you need to just keep posting. You don't need to worry about why does not get 1 million views. When you're making personal brand content, value influencer content, solving problems plus giving value. That's really all it is. And then the rest is up to the audience. Next is be objective about your content. So what I would suggest is you actually watch your content back and see what you need to improve on. Otherwise, you're never going to get better. So for me, I know that I tend to say a lot. I've gotten a lot better at that. Even though I've done content for years, I've gotten so used to just cutting things out that I never really tried to improve that. In the past couple months, I've really tried to focus on that, and I've gotten a lot better at it. I'm also trying to eliminate any words like, I'm not great at it. I'm still getting better at it, but I'm trying to eliminate that. I've watched myself back, and I'm like, you know what? I really need to improve my speaking in terms of being articulate. So be objective about your content, and would you actually watch your own content? If you were your target audience, which generally you're going to kind of RB. So watch it a couple of days later and just see, like, are you making actually good content? Is this valuable? Am I explaining this in a way that's easy to understand? The audience can grasp the concepts, they can take action from it, and they're getting a lot of value. Or is it just kind of wishy-washy and it's confusing and now people are going to click off? So just be objective about your content. The next thing is create lead gen and nurturing content. So this comes to the how to solve stuff. You can make broader how to solve in the bigger part of your niche. So you have like your big niche, you have your smaller niche. I always suggest to go in the smaller niche. I hate using like niches and stuff. It's kind of gay, but like it's the way to make money. The cash is in the niches. Unfortunately, I like going big, all that stuff, but niches is where it's at. It's the same thing as a brain surgeon. They make more of the money than a normal doctor simply because they have a specialty. It's the same thing with these small niches. So make sure that you are doing a little bit of lead gen content as well. I mean, a lot of your content will be, but nurturing content as well. That's where the proof content comes in. That's where the story content comes in. It's, it really doesn't matter about the views. It matters about those people that watch those videos. Are they getting even more value? Are you building that relationship? That's what that's all about. The final thing I have for you is just to keep your offer simple. So what I mean is you make that bridge between their current situation and their desired outcome as flat as possible. This is like a no-brainer for them, right? So there's a whole lot of things we can cover in terms of offer creation and everything, but you just want to make this a no-brainer for them, where they absolutely need that to get to their desired outcome. You want to create the least amount of friction as possible from them to go from their current situation to their desired outcome, and even get the opportunity. That's why I always like to talk about just having one link on your channel bio or one link in your description, maybe two, and just keeping it very, very simple. Reducing all the friction you possibly can and make it very easy for the audience to buy your product, which will then lead them to their solution a lot faster. So if you want to learn more about the value influencer business model as a personal brand, there's a 71-minute free course that you can watch right here. I'll see you on the inside.